here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Live from the original Walk-Ons here on Burbank, just off of Nicholson. Jimmy Ott, Mexico Tro to be joined shortly by Charlie Hannegriff. Our special time for this New Year's Eve, we'll bring you right into Texas Bowl action, LSU and Baylor at 2:30. So we're on from 12:30 to 2:30. Today we will have Andy Isco today, and on our next segment about 12:40, 12:45. Wes Reynolds, who is normally with us on Wednesday, he'll be with us at 1:15, giving his picks on the college football playoff and other games that he likes in college football in the bowl season in the NFL as well. Speaking of the bowl games, down in Tampa, could not be much of a worse start for the Alabama Crimson Tide. We'll get to that in just a second, but Alabama right now down as much as 16-0, cut it to 16-7, took over their drive near their own 5-yard line, and now are inside the 10 with 13 seconds to go in half. Third and goal for the Crimson Tide, down 16-7, no timeouts remaining at the 5-yard line. So Milroe in the shotgun, looks left, pressured, fires out of bounds, out of reach, and so they will probably settle for a short field goal here. So that would make it 16-10 at half if the Crimson Tide does connect on this field goal. 3 field goals for the Michigan Wolverines, and here's how they were set up. Fourth down near midfield, and Alabama decides to go for it on 4th and 4. Milroe is sacked, so they turn the ball over on downs. Michigan goes down and kicks a field goal. First play of the second drive, down 3-0. Milroe fumbles the ball, and Michigan recovers. They turn it into a touchdown, 10-0 Michigan. Bama gets the ball back again. Second play on this drive, Milroe interception. Michigan converts it into a field goal, 13-0. And then on the first play, on the next drive, 14-yard sack, a fumble by Milroe, and they cash it into 16-0. In the middle of that run, there was a big rainstorm that made the field extremely slick, but this thing could not have. We're talking about in 5 offensive play span, 4 turnovers, 1 on downs, and 3 turnovers, all by Jalen Milroe. A fumble, an interception, and then another sack fumble. So you talk about digging yourself a hole. This total was at 42.5, and it's now 16-10. The field goal is up and good with just 4 seconds remaining, and that'll be the score at half. Max, what is the end game right now as we speak on this one?
Yeah, this is quite a game here. We're looking at Bama as a slight favorite. We've got
I'll put up that for 3.5, 3.5, and 45.5 is the in game right now. 220 Alabama at -220, Michigan at +170. We saw Michigan as much as -360 earlier when they had their big lead. But look, this is a game where Alabama, most of their players are playing, and Michigan's down a lot of players who have opted out. So especially some of their stars for the defensive line, but maybe the field drying out a little bit. Alabama goes in with some momentum, but 16.5-point favorites. Where this line start out at?
We were seeing somewhere around 12.5, 13.5, and then it went down a little bit, but shot back up and closed, as you said, just under 17. So Michigan had some opt-outs. You had the star corner, Will Johnson's been out with injury, but the defensive line opt-outs were a real problem for them, but ultimately it seems like thanks to field position, they've very much been in this game and might have a chance to win.
All right. So Alabama now favored by close to the touchdown in game, and looks like they have gathered themselves. I mean, I've seen a lot of games. I've never seen a 5-play offensive span where you turn it over on downs and then regular turnovers. I mean, in 5 plays. I mean, that is as bad as it gets. So you wondered about Kalen DeBoer. It's like they never even practiced before in this one. But they have steadied themselves and look like they may be in shape now. At least finish the half strong, because I gave them no chance to get a a score at the end of the half. I was looking for them to just run out the clock with field position, dictate your aggression, but take it over at their own 40-yard line. They do pop a couple of long plays, and now they have it. 6 first downs for Michigan in the first half is what we're looking at. Alabama does lead in the statistical category, but, I mean, it's still 16 to 8 first downs for Alabama, 6 for Michigan. Total yards, 163 to 109. 3 turnovers to none. And, again, that 4th down conversion, 0 for 1 for Alabama in that one. Last night, the beat goes on. So, Sunday night, it took a strange sequence for Washington to win and to cover. Boy, you know, that's what you get when you publicize that Bill Belichick finished third, didn't even finish in your top 3 when you hire Raheem Morris. Yeah, how did that plane ride go back for Arthur Blank on the way back? Anybody could have seen that one. But again, last night, where a spot where most teams will rest their starters, the game means nothing. Everything on the line, and I mean everything on the line. First seed, home field advantage throughout the entire playoffs and a bye, or you play the first round of wild card and then you're on the road your next 2 games in all likelihood if you lose next week. So saving your players, not Dan Campbell. And so they got away with it last night. They win and they cover despite being behind and their defense giving up a lot of plays, but a couple of first down Brock Purdy interceptions. Both were on first down. It was cardinal sin for a quarterback. He played so well minus that, but 2 first down interceptions changed the game. The middle center fielder, the free safety for the Detroit Lions with both of those. And so now for the year, the chalk 71.8%. The 183 wins by the favorites this year. All of 15 out of 16 favorites win outright this past weekend in the NFL. The only underdog to win outright was the Giants over the Colts. They've scored 45 in that one, but 54% against the spread. That's the highest the chalk has covered since 2017. So the chalk at 71.8%. That's the highest percentage since 1978. So 183 wins by the favorites this year. That's just 5 shy of an all-time record.
And with how it started, the mayhem that was in Survivor. So if you just take out the first 3 weeks, I mean, those numbers are even more drastic than they are. It's been a big group of 14 weeks, I guess, for the public.
September was a record for Las Vegas sportsbooks. $81 million profit is an all-time record. It has been all chalk since. So, so it started all dogs. And like you said, all of the Survivor carnage. But, again, favorite wins outright and covers last night. So, saw Gibbs. He had to go to the sideline. He had a cut below his eye. It looked like a boxer's cut. Saw Laporta take a vicious helmet-to-helmet shot. He stayed in the game. You saw Goff almost get helmet-to-helmet. It was friendly fire between Joey Bosa and a teammate. They collided helmets. Both were kind of dazed. The Bosa stayed in, but his teammate went out. And I saw St. Brown limping after he was hit going to the sideline. But nobody was hurt. Plays with fire. Ultimately, he'll get burned, but they get out of this one alive. And, and nobody knows his team like Coach Dan Campbell, but he gets away with one last night.
Yeah, you got to be comfortable with what he knows in the locker room. Maybe he just thinks the defense has been so beat up that this is not going to change, right? It's not like they sat out defensive starters. This is just what they were. But the offense maybe just doesn't want them to lose any momentum right now. The offense is clicking, and even you worry a little bit about Jared Goff sometimes outdoor games with the small hands. We've seen that with other quarterbacks before. That wasn't a problem last night. But the offense, I guess he overall just thought that this team was better off without a bye week. This was basically going to be a bye week, right? It wasn't like this was going to be a 2-week span where they weren't going to play like you could see the Chiefs where they've got to sit their starters for a while with a bye week going into the playoffs. But this is a game that they could have taken off, and they ultimately decide against it. I guess you just got to go with what Dan Campbell believes in because he's got you here. He's got you this far.
All right. The clock is off today, so we apologize about that. Do we have Andy Iskoe ready to go, Jordan?
I'm getting him on right now.
Okay. So we'll wait for Andy to come on in just a second. We're live here at Walk-Ons, the original Walk-Ons on Burbank. Do have one college basketball action game going underway. Conference play is underway in the ACC. North Carolina State with a 10-point lead as a 1.5-point dog. It has been all Virginia, though, in the second half in Charlottesville. Outscored the Wolfpack by 22 in the second half. 4:54 mark left in the second half. Virginia 67 and NC State 55. So they have really flipped that game around. So we got another one coming on in just a second. But as we bring up Andy Iskoe from Las Vegas right now, Andy, Happy New Year to you, sir.
And Happy New Year, Jimmy, and all the folks over there. I'm glad you gave me a few extra minutes so I could get a halftime bet down on the Bama Michigan game.
Who do you like?
Second half, Bama.
Okay, so minus the 6.5, 4.5 now.
Well, that's for the game. I'm talking about the second half line, which is basically the same thing. Effectively, I laid
10.5
because the second half line is 10.
Okay, yeah, 10. So second half line only. Live game is 4.5 is what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, which is basically 10.5 for the second half.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Why?
But the reason I did it, by the way, is I wanted to see some spark out of Alabama. And when they scored that first touchdown after playing the first miserable quarter, that told me that whatever cobwebs they had in their eyes for the first part of the game, they're getting down to playing football. And certainly what we saw at the end of the first half. And I'm glad they settled for a field goal because it gave me a better number for the rest of the game.
Yes, indeed. So I'm seeing some 5.5s popping around. So this thing is moving pretty good right now. Andy, have you looked at the four college football playoff games tonight? Penn State and Boise State. Penn State 11.5 and 54.5. And then the triple-header tomorrow. Texas 12.5. Once it got to 14, some sharp action knocked it down. 12.5, 51.5 over Arizona State. Scatterboo putting out some bulletin board material there. Ohio State.
Yeah, I like Arizona State, but I wish he hadn't said anything.
Yeah, Ohio State 2.5, 55.5 over Will Howard's best performance of the season. And then down to the Superdome, Georgia 1.5, 45.5. Backup quarterback, the in-state highly recruited prospect who came in the second half and led his team to a victory in the SEC championship game against Texas. He's back at it tonight. Georgia 1.5 over Notre Dame. Who do you like, Andy?
I took Boise. I got a plus 12 the other day on that one. I think that I still go back. You know, they didn't look all that sharp over the second half of the season, but now they're finally in a position that they had hoped to be for many years. I think Penn State wins the game, but I think we're going to see Boise be competitive, much as they were very early in the season at Oregon. I like the quarterback development of Madsen. Of course, we got Genty, who Penn State will focus on. So if I'm Boise, I'd probably come out and pass the ball a little bit to sort of like say to Penn State, hey, you're not just going to have to focus on that one guy because we can move the ball through the air. And I do think that I would be very surprised if Boise State won. I would not be surprised if this game's decided by under 10.
All right. So looking at Boise State, I like Boise State as well. The reason it's more of a fade against Penn State. I mean, there are game altering plays, game impacting plays. I mean, the SMU quarterback made like 5 of them, Andy. I mean, 7 here, the 2 pick sixes. That's obviously to return touchdowns for 7. The other one when he didn't just run the fourth down. Instead, he threw the ball on the fourth down incompletion. They were on their way to getting 7 in that one. I mean, later in the game when they got their first turnover of the game, he turns it over again deep in the red zone. So, man, I was just not impressed. Aller struggled again. Penn State did nothing in that game to impress me.
I would think that Boise, all things considered, may be the third best team that Penn State has faced this year. Obviously, Boise played a very weak schedule in comparison, other than that game at Oregon. But if you look at the 2 best teams that Penn State played, They played Oregon in that shootout where really Oregon was controlled for most of that game, and of course the Ohio State game that they lost at home. So Boise State may be like. There'll be a gap between Oregon and Ohio State and Boise, of course, but we did see Penn State fall victim to a team that is not quite as good, but better than a lot of the Big Ten teams, I think, than they faced.
There you go. All right, what about the other games? Who are we looking at?
I took the 14 with Arizona State when that line first came out. I still have Texas as one of my top 2 rated teams power-wise, along with Notre Dame, actually, slightly ahead of both Oregon and Ohio State. But I like what I've seen out of Arizona State. My only real concern is how does the nearly month off affect the great momentum that they had coming in there? But Texas, this is as much a play on Arizona State as it is against Texas. When you look at Texas' schedule, they had those 2 losses to Georgia, admittedly the championship game in overtime, but I wasn't all that impressed with a lot of the teams that Texas had to play and beat this year. And, you're going up against an Arizona State team that was totally unfamiliar with basically every opponent that they played outside of the teams that came over with them from the Pac-12, and yet they played extremely well.
There you go. And all right. So do you think it is sustainable? I mean, is it a case where, they were humbled, certainly. I mean, there was a lot of hatred for the home team. I mean, they allowed, I can't even remember the Horseshoe ever allowing 40,000 in for a home game in Columbus for Ohio State. And sometimes it takes new quarterbacks and their teams times to gel. Or was it just a one-time deal for Will Howard last week?
I think it may have been a one-time deal, sort of, because remember, I didn't put any stock in, they're still mourning about the Michigan loss. No, if anything, they went out and said, you've been bashing us for the last 2-3 weeks, whatever it was. We're going to go out and play football. And they got off to a big start and never let up. So I think that the true Ohio State performance that we're likely to see is somewhere between the Michigan and somewhere between the Tennessee game, maybe a little bit closer to the Tennessee game, but I still like Oregon in this spot.
All right. What's your thoughts of Campbell playing? Did you think he was going to play all of his starters last night, go at it? I mean, man, it looked like they were into it, playing with fire. He didn't get burned last night. You do it enough, it'll eventually get you, but a lot of guys got shaken up, but no real injuries last night. Laporta took a helmet to helmet. Gibbs took a cut below the eye, looked like a boxer's cut. St. Brown was hobbling after one catch. I mean, but they got out of it, no problems.
Yeah. Well, Campbell had said during the week that they were playing this game to win, regardless of any playoff implications, and of course there weren't any with Minnesota winning against Green Bay on Sunday. But the thing that I'm rooting for this Sunday, I'm going to be rooting for the Jets to beat Miami, and I'm going to root for Kansas City to beat Denver, and what's the other one that I need? Cincinnati to beat Pittsburgh. I would love to see a Cincinnati-Detroit Super Bowl because that game could be 50-48.
Well, 17-1 is what is paying you, plus 1,700 for the Joe Burrow gets into the playoffs parlay, the 3-team money line parlay for the Jets, the Chiefs, and the Bengals to win. And man, the Bengals can get it started on Saturday night. The AFC North will take center stage. Yeah. Baltimore needs to win, and then the Steelers need to win the division, and Cincinnati needs to win to keep their hopes alive.
Well, by the way, that's another thing. Pittsburgh has an incentive to go out and win and retain that number 5 seed. So they would end up playing at Houston instead of likely at, what would it be? Buffalo? No, not Buffalo. It would be at Baltimore. I think it'd be a rematch.
Andy, so last night, again, favorite covers and wins outright. 15 of the 16 favorites went outright. Only the Giants beat the Colts this past week, almost 72% straight up. That's 5 shy of an NFL record. After a record month for the books in September with $81 million profit, 54% ATS. It's the highest since 2017. What do you make about this public run right now in the NFL?
I think it relates to a lot of things we've been talking about throughout the season, and that is this year in the NFL, we've got some really, really good teams, some really, really bad teams, and not the usual number of mediocre teams in the middle. As a result, and we've seen lower lines this year. As a result, the teams that are laying 6 and 7 that might have been laying 8 or 9 are now covering these lower lines. And the underdogs that used to be getting more haven't been performing as well because they're so bad. I mean, people have been playing. I can't really say the Jets are one of those things because the public kept betting the Jets even when they were favored, and they haven't winning. But bad teams like Jacksonville, Tennessee, they have been losing continuously, even though a lot of the public had been on those teams, and they started to shy away from it and started playing the favorites late.
Andy, any games? We've got about 30 seconds. Any games that you like this week in the NFL in this tricky week 18?
I kind of like Arizona to beat. I like how well they played last week in defeat at the Rams, especially defensively after already being eliminated. I was on the Rams. I was very impressed with Arizona's defensive effort there. So I like them against San Francisco, who gave it their all last night. Right now, that's the only one that I've made a firm opinion on. But we'll be speaking Sunday, I guess, and I'll have a couple more.
That'll be great. We'll see you on Football Sunday. Thank you, Andy. Good luck. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
Don't forget, we're live here at Walk-Ons, a special edition of Live at Lunch, live at the original Walk-Ons. Again, crawfish boils on-site, off-site. Your number, 225-888-3566. That'll go to Mr. Dustin Lovelace, and he'll get you all set up. Charlie joins us when we return, live at lunch, live at the original Walk-Ons. Bringing you right up to kickoff for LSU and Baylor on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. How did Rouse's go?
Live at lunch.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to BABBEL.com. That's Babbel.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then
Yes.
Hey, so they played our spots from 11 to 1.
From when I'm looking at the log, it seems since 12 o'clock, that's when it's been playing since 12 p.m. So when I came in here, it was already I guess whatever it was already doing what it was supposed to do. So whoever made the logs, they got it confused because now it's giving nothing but Hunt Palmer. Like it's doing the Hunt Palmer, all his ads are right now, like his commercials. So because K's been out, so I don't know who's been making the logs.
Oh.
Who's been setting all this up. So
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know. It's doing right now. It says we're in Hunt Palmer, we're doing the Hunt Palmer, all this Boudreaux Electric and all that. So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but but these next 2 hours they're regular, so it's back to normal. So nothing should be switched up.
Back to full power swiftly and efficiently with a 5-year warranty on all our rebuilt transformers and a rapid turnaround time. We are your solution for all your transformer needs. Visit BayouTransformers.com. That's BayouTransformers.com.
Honesty, integrity, attention to detail, and dedication. Lewis Mechanical Contractors has been providing top quality plumbing services to Baton Rouge since 1960. Your peace of mind was their business then and still is now. Whatever you need, repair, installation, replacement, they are the area's trusted source for all plumbing jobs, big and small. Call 927-6520. That's 927-6520.
Lewis Mechanical, keeping plumbing humming. With WCK, your home will be okay. With WCK, you're on solid ground today. A reputation for a strong foundation makes us leaders among peers. WCK Foundation Repair. WCK, a leader among peers. WCK.
Hooters is your headquarters for all the postseason football action. You can catch all the games at Hooters or spice up your at-home watch party with wings to go. And look, If your team's got you feeling a little crabby, head to Hooters for $19.99 snow crab legs. Wild caught, steamed to perfection, and served to the side of butter. Hooters crab legs are guaranteed to make you happy. And for a limited time, they're just $19.99 a pound. All day, every day at Hooters. Winging it since 1983.
Hi, this is Gordy Rush, inviting you to elevate brand visibility and ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Introducing Guarantee Media Digital. Secure your free digital audit now at guaranteemedia.com.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, live at lunch here, live from the original Walk-Ons, and we remind everybody again, the crawfish boils on site right here at Walk-Ons. What a day like today, huh? Wouldn't that be a great day to have a crawfish boil? We always have great springs here in the capital city. And off-site, we bring the whole crew, man. We handle everything. So, I mean, just you name it, the tables, the rolling out the picking up, cleaning up, everything is handled over here from Walk-On. So on-site or off-site, the best number is reserve your spot because we will be filling up that spring schedule. So again, call our friend Mr. Dustin Lovelace at 888-3566. That's 888-3566. One game underway, one getting ready to kick off, Louisville and Washington. So the quarterback for Louisville is out. A couple of key players. Max, who's out again for Louisville?
Yeah, so Tyler Shook, the quarterback, they've got two receivers.
Texas Tech transfer.
Ja'Cory Brooks and Amari Huggins-Bruce. And then a couple defensive players as well that have opted out. They've also got a couple portal options as well. Washington has a couple players in the portal. One of them still should play, their left guard. They are missing their left tackle. And we'll see a new quarterback at Washington. We saw Damon Williams, who started to see a role in the finale. Will Rogers got benched, the former Mississippi State quarterback. So we will see Damon Williams go again. He will start in the bowl game per Jedfish.
All right. Charlie's here.
Thought he said Damon Wilson. That was
you got
Lamont
a
on
full
Sanford
day
Son.
today, boy.
Yeah.
But you get it out the way. No post game, huh?
No post game tonight. DNP coach's decision on that. So, no, I had a good pregame. Always enjoy over at Rouse's and watching the beginning of this Alabama game where, Michigan needs them to turn back the rain machine back on a little bit.
Yeah.
Because and we see them slip to open here in the second half. It looked like, and the rain got there in a hurry, but it almost looked like Alabama had the wrong cleats on. The slips and slides in the first
maybe
couple
a
of drives.
combination of the two.
Yeah, and
it was bad.
It was. It was raining really, really hard there for a period. And as much as I would like to, celebrate and all this that Alabama's losing, I just can't help but think, all of those turnovers. Michigan made one first down off of all of those turnovers, I think.
I think so. Yeah,
three field goals, and then they did get the one touchdown. They should be up more than this.
Can you remember?
Given those,
can you remember a game? If 5 snaps, we count a fourth down fail as a turnover.
Yeah,
I mean, 5 snaps, 4 turnovers.
No, not even in this kind of inclement weather. No, not really.
Again, 4th and 4 in the opening drive after the kick goes out of bounds and gives them good field position near midfield. Milroe sacked on 4th down. So Michigan turns that into a field goal. The first play, they get the kickoff. The first play, he fumbles the ball. They cash it in for a touchdown, 10-0. They get the ball back. Second play, Milroe throws an interception. They cash it in for another field goal, 13-0 Michigan. And then they get the kickoff back in the first play, 14-yard loss, sack, fumble. Michigan gets it. They survive a review as well, and they cash that into a field goal, 16-0. Bama went on to score 10 points in a long drive right before half, where they started with about 55 seconds to go at their own 4. They got it inside the Michigan 10, but had to settle for a field goal.
Catch me in the audience up, Jimmy, because I watched the last play I watched before I left Rouse's was the first play of that drive where they handed. I stuck around. I was like, let me see if they're going to try to score here. When they handed the ball off on first down, I said, well, they're going to run the clock out. And by the time I got here down the street, they had scored. What happened? They got down because they got down the field in a hurry.
But
the Alabama drive that started at the 5. The
well,
first play was
two chunk plays down the right side. One was a Milrow run, and one was kind of especially when you play prevent.
Yeah.
I mean, you lost a receiver down the right field. On the right sideline, Milrow kind of lobbed it up. I think it was a back, and he ran it. It looked like it was going to go all the way. Ran it close to the 5.
Because the first play was just a straight run. Yeah.
Yeah, they were spiked the ball to stop the clock. They're out of timeouts. And then they ran 2 plays to incompletion. So pressure on third down, forced to throw the ball early and threw it over out of bounds to the left side. So Milrow's had a rough day.
He really has, and some of that's weather related and some of it's not. I'm just, like I said, I would love to be sitting here celebrating at 16-0. I felt pretty good because it looked like Alabama, maybe was going to shut it down, just say, the hell with this in the rain. But they're back into it. Michigan, given the circumstances of this game, should be up way more than 6 points.
Yes, no doubt. So Michigan right now takes this opening kickoff of the second half. They have it second down and 8 at their own 31. That's a loss of 1. This will bring up a 3rd and 9 here for it. But isn't that a fair indicator on, your key players that are playing like Alabama is, and that Michigan isn't? That they are
absolutely
they are here to play. I mean,
you would have thought, and maybe it was just the weather. Maybe they were all geeked up and just had some turnovers because of the wet field and because their footing was bad. With they didn't have the right cleats on for the moment. I can tell you, all I know is that Alabama's been playing a hell of a lot better since the sun came out.
Yes, the field has dried out a little bit. Here is a 3rd and 10, a roll to the right side. Looks like good coverage, and the Michigan quarterback is just going to take a sack. He's dropped for about an 8-yard loss, and so they will punt now from about their own 22, 11 and a half minutes to go here in the third quarter. Well, we both sat here yesterday and said that, well, there's nothing to play for. I mean, this is a team that had the earliest bye in their schedule that they could have. And when you have that, even more reason to try and recharge your batteries. Why would you run Jamar Gibbs at any point in the game? He ran it. They ran this up. It seemed like he almost had a little extra juice on the sidelines, like they wanted to kind of make a point. I'm going to do it I'm going to run my team the way I want to run my damn team. And the players respond. It was not without a little scare. Laporta took a head-to-head shot. You saw St. Brown limping after being tackled on a sideline route one time. You saw Gibbs go to the sideline. He took a fighter's cut, a boxer's cut under the eye. So all your key players, and man, Goff, they were about to scissor him one time, but he got out of there, and it was friendly fire when Bosa went helmet to helmet with his teammate, who he knocked out of the game. But they escaped. And no serious injuries. They win. They're all happy. They go back home for the Sunday night game against Minnesota.
You and I are in agreement that we would have sat people, and I think the majority of coaches would have sat people. And ordinarily, I don't spend a whole lot of time watching stuff like this, but I did see Campbell in the locker room after giving the speech, and Jimmy, it's the heart on the sleeve. It's all emotion. It's raw. I asked you guys to buy in. I've never been prouder. You guys give it because that's who we are and that's what we do. And it would have been such a breaking character for me to say, oh, you know what? This game doesn't mean anything, even though it doesn't mean anything. And something else I hadn't considered, because I just don't think about this as much at the pro level as I do at the college level. was several of the players after the game commenting about how they wanted this revenge because this is where they collapsed in the NFC Championship game a year ago and blew that 17-point lead. And they had that bad taste in their mouth. And ordinarily, I think of that more the college revenge stuff. And with the pros a year removed, I don't think of it as much. But last night, they seemed genuine in that. So was it the smartest thing to do? Probably not.
So in the NFC Championship game, when they either advance or they lose, or the divisional round, when they advance or they lose, we're talking about this game? How important it was in the run?
No,
hell no.
No, we're not.
You play with fire long enough, you're gonna get burned.
I agree.
You
play
with fire long enough, you're gonna get burned. You got out of it, you escaped, but you keep doing it. I mean, I don't care what you're doing. You keep taking unnecessary risks. I mean, this is and look, Frisco is a physical team. They were trying to get, and guess what? That's not last year's San Francisco team you played last night. Okay, let's try not. What kind of revenge is that? It's not revenge. 10 years from now, we're gonna say, well, they went and beat them in that next year in a meaningless game. No,
it's all in what motivates you, Jimmy. Michael Jordan held a grudge against his high school coach until the day he went in the Hall of Fame. I mean, if that's what motivates you, fine. I get what you're saying, but that's what they're using.
He's got to run his team, and I understand we expect him to play, but he had never been in this spot, and things would be different. There would the narrative would be different had he lost one of those guys, and they were taking hits.
I'll tell you another thing I was surprised about. I was surprised about how well San Francisco played. They've been playing like garbage the last month of the season. That's their best outing in a minute.
Detroit's defense is really bad, Charlie.
They are.
A lot of people defense didn't play good. They couldn't stop them at all.
No.
I mean, fourth down. Who do you lose? Guys hit 135 targets. He's dropped 0 passes this year. You lose St. Brown?
Yeah. That would be tough.
You know, one of the reasons you sat with me and watched the games before, and I talk about how much I like him, and Buck and I guess I should have known this beforehand. Maybe it's part of it, but they said in a diva position, this guy is no diva.
No.
You know, and they talked about St. Brown and the interview they had him and Williams after the game with with Van Pelt and those guys, and Williams gushing over his guy, St. Brown. So, and for a guy that has been a part of all that losing to hand him, man, it's just kind of, you just naturally pull for those guys. And look, Campbell with all his, even with his, he knows his locker room better than us, okay? And I understand your point that he's got to run it. He can't turn his switch off at certain times. Even though, there's times when you don't be baited into a fight that's unnecessary. You got other battles to fight. But, man, it's a team you kind of pull for, huh? Even hard in NFL, where some teams are kind of hard to pull for.
It's a chip on your shoulder team. And first of all, Detroit's never won anything. Nobody's mad at the Detroit Lions. They hadn't won anything in anybody's lifetime, okay? Jared Goff was a throw-in the trade. He's your bridge quarterback until you find somebody you really like. Oh, no, now he's a franchise guy. St. Brown can name player, height, weight, draft position of everybody that went in front of him. He's got it memorized. Even a guy like Laporta, when they were, criticizing that draft, they were saying, oh, that's too high for a tight end from Iowa. And I'm sure there are other guys on that team that feel the same way. And they've got it. This is us. Aiden Hutchinson, who I know hasn't played since the beginning of the season, he's a Michigan guy, said, I want to play for the Detroit Lions. Who says they want to play for the Detroit Lions? Nobody. That's their team culture, and they built it. And I guess sometimes you just can't turn it off.
Yeah. All right, just so they get away with one. Live here at the original Walk-Ons, crawfish boils on site here at Walk-Ons. A day like today, you could do them on the patio. We do them out in the we kind of do them in the parking lot, set up the tent. We handle everything. Off-site, same thing. We'll take all of our staff and all of our gear and all of the stuff and handle everything for you, including all of the cleanup, the servers to the cleanup. So now is your time to reserve your spot because we do fill up. We do fill up. Our buddy Dustin Lovelace, give them a call, 888-3566. That's the catering number, 888-3566. Now is the time to reserve your spots for on-site and off-site crawfish boils catered by Walk-Ons. Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
live at lunch.
I love telling you about my friends over at Bistreaux Electric. Neil and Melissa have been running Bistreaux Electric for 40 years. Now their son Justin has jumped in. He's helping them out as well as the sales manager. I tell you a lot of things about Bistreaux Electrical. I tell you about the fact that they have full-time employees that do all of their installations and their maintenance. I tell you about the warranties that they have that come with their Generac generators. What I never tell you about Bistreaux Electrical is that you can pay for some sort of VIP deal because all of their customers get VIP treatment. They're so prompt with their service. They're able to monitor your generator remotely. So if there is an issue, they can send a technician out to deal with it. And you don't have to pay extra for that service. That's not the way they've done business for 4 decades down here in South Louisiana. Give them a call, 985-397-1562. Neil and Melissa Boudreaux have been running this show for 40 years. Give yourself the peace of mind of knowing that you can have that Generac generator before storm season puts you without power. Don't think about it when it's already happened. Think about it right now. Visit them at boudreauxelectrical.com.
Did you know most homes don't have adequate insulation? This means higher electricity bills. Capital City Comfort can come and inspect your home for any spots that need extra insulation. Get ready for Louisiana weather with Capital City Comfort. Online at capitalcitycomfort-br.com.
Hey, do you love beef? I mean premium Angus beef. Sagrera Farm sells the whole sides and quarters straight from the farm, ready to fill your freezer with tender, flavorful ribeyes, fillets, strips, brisket, ground beef, and a lot more. I want to introduce you to Louisiana's own Sean Sagrera of Sagrera Farms, a hidden gem just 30 minutes north of Baton Rouge. What's Sean's secret? Mating genetically superior Angus cattle and then ensuring that every day in the life of his cattle is a great one. Happy, healthy cattle, finished on grain, dry-aged 45 days, creates consistent and predictable, flavorful beef. When you take a bite of Sagrera Farms beef, you'll know that this is not some mass-produced afterthought. So if you want the best, and I mean the best in Angus beef, go online to sagrerafarms.com, or better yet, call Sean right now at 225-719-1723. Sagrera Farms.
Southern Outfitters in Zachary is your one-stop shop for hunting, fishing, and lifestyle brands. With a great selection of apparel, decoys, firearms, ammo, and archery, they are sure to have what you need this hunting season. Remember, shop local this holiday. Visit SouthernOutfittersLA.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service.
Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. With 5 new brands and a huge selection of certified and pre-owned vehicles to shop on one lot, we're sure to have the right ride for you.
Shop BayouFord.com and BayouCDJR.com, or come see us just off I-10 in LaPlace. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Away for a touchdown.
The Hooters College Football Bowl Pick'em Challenge presented by Yingling is underway. Check the leaderboard each day to see how you're stacking up at 1045ESPN.com. If your picks qualify you for a shot at $1,000 cash and $200 from Hooters, check your inbox January 2nd for your invite to pick the playoff semifinal winners. Our grand prize winner will be notified on January 13th. It's the Hooters College Football Bowl Pick'em Challenge presented by Yingling at 1045ESPN.com.
At Curbside, great burgers aren't just what we do, it's who we are. Catch the big game in our newly renovated backyard with over a dozen TVs. Enjoy ice-cold buckets of beer, craft frozens, and boozy milkshakes. Curbside has something for everyone. Visit Curbside today.
Christmas carols with Jake and James of Trash Rangers. Frosty the Trash Man, call Trash Rangers. Good Lord. I can't believe y'all made me do this.
Looking for a tax deduction? Think about donating your car, boat, or RV to St. Vincent de Paul. Visit svdppr.org.
From east, north to south, but we're heading west. It's Wes Reynolds from VSiN.
All right, let's go out to Las Vegas, hook it up with Wes Reynolds on a Tuesday. Wes, Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year, Jimmy. Happy New Year, Charlie, and everybody there in Baton Rouge.
Happy New Year, Wes.
There you go. There you go. Wes, you want to Max, you want to tell Wes Happy New Year? Huh? I mean,
Happy New Year, Wes.
I mean,
golf is right around
and
the
Max.
corner.
Oh, Max is there. Happy New Year, Max. Yeah.
And look, I mean, Max, when you sing Last Christmas like Wes, and you get a pass, okay? But participate, boy. Hey, that's right. We got one coming up. Max was trying to catch some value with the Scheffler announcement, huh, Max?
Yeah, try to get Shoffley at plus 650, which that does have a little bit of value. The JT other one that I gave you, not so much. He opened up a little higher after Scheffler withdrew, but a lot of withdrawals this week at the Century.
Does the Scheffler vacancy create some value, or I guess opportunity more? I mean, I guess value if you could catch them before they adjusted the lines.
Yeah, probably opportunity is the better word necessarily than value. There were some good prices, obviously, a few weeks ago, but with the Scheffler announcement, not a ton there. In terms of a short price, because I'm still kind of finishing up and seeing what I'm going to bet this week. Colin Morikawa, it feels like eventually he's got to win one of these in Hawaii with all the familial connections and the fact that he's never finished worse than 7th in this event. Still have the scar tissue from a couple years ago where he had almost 10-shot lead at one point in the final round, and then John Rahm got him. So, Colin Morikawa, I think, certainly would make a little sense. And then also Sahith Theegala, who finished runner-up here last year, could go well. And Akshay Bhatia is another one I am looking at. He finished 2024 very strong.
All right, Wes, let's start off with tonight's quarterfinal game between Boise State and Penn State. Looking at 11.5. You like anything?
I played the over here. A little bit of a better number, but I think, look, indoor track there at State Farm Stadium in Glendale. We did see Penn State. Granted, they didn't win the game or cover even against Oregon, but they were able to get plays down the field and did score 37 points and split up a ton of yards. I think they could do the same on Boise State. I also think Ashton Genty, gets a little bit of a rest after that workhorse load he carried down the stretch trying to get that rushing record. So, would expect that he's going to be ready to go and has had enough rest and enough time off to heal from that grueling season. So I think Boise State's going to get a couple on Penn State. Madsen, I think, is a guy that's not going to turn the ball. Not throwing very many interceptions. It's not going to be like Jennings for SMU, where I think he got really overwhelmed in a true road game. This is a neutral game down there in Glendale. Boise's going to have a ton of people there. So I think it's a little bit better environment for Boise State's offense, certainly than SMU's offense. So I see over in this one. Small lean to Penn State at 11. James Franklin usually covers numbers as a favorite, but this is also a bigger game where you're a little leery of playing that. But if I play a side, I'm laying Penn State.
All right. The Texas line opened up big and was bet all the way up to 14 before some sharp action came in and knocked it down to 12.5. That's what we're looking at right now. Texas 12.5, 51.5. Oh, no, the little underdog couldn't stay quiet. Scatterboo saying, I'm the best around. So, and nothing like a little chatter from the dog here. Texas 12.5, 51.5.
Well, we'll see against a pretty good Texas run defense, one of the better ones in the country. But market is coming in on Arizona State a little bit. I still think the market hasn't totally believed in Texas this year. And there's some reasons, because in the two big games against Georgia, they came up lame and couldn't get the job done. But, Texas was my pick to win the thing. I'm still sticking with it. I'm lukewarm on laying this number necessarily, because it felt like they should have beat Clemson by more in that first game. They did cover most all numbers, or at least push the closing 14. But, you worry that they let a team hang around a little bit. And, that could happen here against ASU. I think that they're the better team, but I'm probably going to stay away from this one. Maybe look at a little in-game under, depending on how this game's going to start.
All right. The Rose Bowl tomorrow, Ohio State has been bet. Will Howard, certainly his best game. You could probably say Ohio State, maybe their best game of the season. 2.5 and 55.5. It hadn't gotten to that magical number of 3, however.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to. I know a lot of people are waiting for that, but I think now that you're still seeing 2, that's a lot to, I think, get this up to 3, even with the heavy hand. And so I'm going to look, and this is Mr. Obvious and probably a little square here, but I'm going to look at the over at 55 here. The first time these two teams met up in Austin and Eugene, 467 yards for Ohio State, 496 for Oregon. It was 32 to 31. Now, what I may endeavor to do, and I'm still debating, is wait to do an in-game over, because you could get a filling out process where neither team scores on the first drive. Then all of a sudden you're looking at 0-0, about 3 or 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter, and this could drop into the low. I can't see this being anything but at least somewhat of a modified shootout here. I just don't think this is going to be seen between these two teams. That Ohio State offense looks really, really good against Tennessee, and you can get big plays down the field on this Oregon defense that Penn State showed in the Big Ten championship game.
All right, in Notre Dame down in New Orleans, Georgia 1-45.5 over the Irish.
Yeah, for me, I'm not sure what to do on the side. I lean with the red and black here as a small favorite. Notre Dame got a little banged in the Indiana game, especially on defense with Riley Mills, the defensive tackle, not being available. They're already down Morrison, who's going to be a first-round pick in the NFL draft there in the secondary. I would look under here. I think maybe you could look at Notre Dame under the team total when that gets more widely spread in the market as we get to game day tomorrow. I think low-scoring game. I just think this is a step up in class for Notre Dame, at least in the trenches. They were able to pretty much control Indiana, especially their defense against Indiana's offensive line. That's going to be hard to do with Georgia, even though they know Georgia is going to be running a little bit more RPO stuff with Gunnar Stockton. But the receivers for Georgia hadn't been able to catch the football really down the field anyway. So you may see this game be played in kind of a phone booth and, conservative game plan, a little bit close to the best. I think low-scoring game in order in the Sugar Bowl tomorrow night.
Any other bowl games you're looking at, Wes?
Yeah, a couple I did play. I played Baylor at a better number tonight against the Bayou Bengals. Maybe I'll come back on LSU and see if I can try to middle. But also played Illinois at 10. Would still maybe look at it at 9.5 there in the Citrus Bowl. I think Illinois might be really excited to be here. And I know South Carolina's getting a lot of the action because they were one of the quote-unquote snub teams from the playoffs. But I'd be looking at Illinois. I think Brett Bielema is pretty excited to be here. And then for the Gator Bowl on Thursday, gosh, that's a high number. And maybe Lane Kiffin messes around and wants to prove a point. But he's been doing a lot of tweeting about not being in the playoff and whatnot. So I question that focus a little bit on Ole Miss. And this is starting to get to about 17.5, where I think I can only play Duke at this standpoint in Jacksonville on Thursday.
Charlie, with the availability, the 3 snubbed SEC teams are playing most everybody. But, man, first impressions, I mean, Alabama including a 4th down turnover, 4 turnovers in 5 plays. It's not exactly the most inspired look for these for this group of SEC teams.
It's not. I want to see how Alabama finishes this thing because I really thought that the game, once the sun came out, was starting to swing towards Alabama. Michigan's kind of settled in a little bit here as we move towards the 4th quarter. This is still a 1-score game late in the 3rd here. I thought Alabama was going to take control here in the second half. Hadn't happened yet.
It turned into a real defensive game. Also, starting quarterback for Michigan headed to the locker room to get checked out. The running quarterback is in for them right now. The kid who quarterbacked in the USC come from behind win. All right, the NFL Saturday and Sunday action, Wes, and it has been Chalk City since a record September for the books. Man, it's been Chalk City. Anything you like on this tricky Week 18 handicap?
Yeah, I got to say I'm a little lukewarm on taking any underdogs here because it's like, can we get one get there, please? Like even in the primetime games on the weekend where you had Denver and you had Atlanta that should have covered, they lose in overtime. So then you just got to throw your hands up and say, like, this is a chalk year. And that's basically what it is. Would lean a little bit. This is not a game that has any implications, obviously, for playoffs, but would lean a little bit to the Colts playing 4.5 or 5 here because, look, they came up lame, and we were on the Giants last week, and they got the outright win. But the Colts have had to hear all week how bad the culture is. You know, Pat McAfee's been getting loose on social and on his program, and he's absolutely right, by the way, in what he says. So do the Colts have at least a little bit of pride to say, oh, yeah, we're going to beat this team? This Jacksonville team, by the way, has owned them and really dominated the series in recent years. So would lean a little bit Indianapolis. The Seattle number got away from me this morning. They are now laying 5.5 against the Rams. They cannot make the playoffs, but they could still get a 10-win season. So I think motivation at least still could be there. But this NFL card, man, if you got to find 5 in any of the contests at Circa or at Superbook, this is going to be a rough week to find 5.
Well, I mean, or you can just jump on the train. I mean, bet against Tennessee, the Titans, which I finally have done the last 2 weeks. I've flipped to the don'ts. And the ACC has failed to cover in their last 10 bowl games. So maybe a Texans, Minnesota Gophers parlay. Huh?
Good. PJ Fleck really good in bowl games, by the way, and that number is very much on the move this morning.
6-2 overall, 5-0 at Minnesota. Minnesota overall 7-0 against the spread, or straight up won their last 7 bowls. And I like the way he has, man. He has his team ready, so I'll be on Minnesota. And that one climbing up though, it's up to 9.5 now.
What angle do we like? Starting centers out. I know where Virginia Tech starts. They're starting centers right down the street.
He's coming down.
Transferring to LSU.
And the DB, right?
And the DB, that's right.
Yeah. That 2 of their key players are out. Minnesota, not as many opt-outs in that one. Happy New Year, Wes. We appreciate it, brother. We'll be back on schedule next week on Wednesday. Good luck to you this weekend.
Happy New Year, fellas. Always good to be with you.
All right, don't forget our friends over at K&M Automotive. K&M Automotive on Segan and Perkins. Segan in between Perkins and I-10, right across from Ambrosia Bakery. My buddy Jason Payne. All you want is an honest deal, a fair shake. You don't want to be upcharged for unnecessary work. You've heard the horror stories of people getting just juiced to getting that bill juiced up where, what? You paid what for what? Not going to happen. Now he's busy because he has so much repeat business, because he gives people an honest deal. Going to try and find you a repair before replace option. Hey, tell me you heard it right here, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. It's the only place I take my vehicle. K&M Automotive on Segan, just off of Perkins, across Segan from Ambrosia Bakery. The only place I take my vehicle. Live at the original Walk-Ons, where now's the time to schedule those crawfish boils for crawfish season on site right here at Walk-Ons, or off site where we bring the whole crew. We bring all the equipment, all the servers, and clean up as well on you at your place as well. Crawfish boils on site or off site. Give us a call over here at Walk-Ons and give our catering number a call. That is 888-3566, 888-3566. Live at Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Genesis of Baton Rouge, genesisofbatonrouge.com. They're the only fully exclusive Genesis dealer in the state of Louisiana, and they're right here in Baton Rouge. I told y'all earlier this week, we were driving, my wife goes, "Oh, that's that car I really like. It's a Genesis." And she had no idea that I even do this. I was like, yeah, they're really nice. They're really, really nice. And you should know it too. You don't see a ton of Genesis on the road because it's fairly new to our city here. They've only been at that location for a year and a half, but go check it out. It's a luxury vehicle. It's a luxury experience to be a Genesis driver. That means 3 years of complimentary maintenance, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. It's a luxury experience at a reasonable price over at Genesis of Baton Rouge. Every single car that's on the lot at Genesis of Baton Rouge is online at genesisofbatonrouge.com. And all of them, every single model, from the entry level to the highest end, come with the same safety features. Safety is a priority for Genesis. Go check them out. Genesis of Baton Rouge. They're online at genesisofbatonrouge.com. That's Genesis of Baton Rouge.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes, placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out.
Oh, Downy the rinse straight.
Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash and smells so clean.
Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Hey, it's Gordy Rush, and one thing for sure, my friends at Gulf Coast Bank and Trust have the tools you need from a bank to help you reach your goals. Whether your business is planning its next big step or just taking its first, you can benefit from Gulf Coast Bank and Trust's knowledgeable bankers, their personal service, easy-to-use technology, and business solutions. So get to know the local bank that cares about you. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
River Parish Contractors is South Louisiana's leader in industrial construction and turnaround services. They employ loyal, local talent who are dedicated to quality projects that are safely executed on time and done your way. With River Parish Contractors, they can assist you with industrial projects that stay within budget and on schedule. What sets them apart is their ability to respond to get the job done right. Come take a tour of their impressive facility in St. John Parish or visit rpcontractors.com.
When your transformer is down, it's not just an inconvenience. It's a cost to your business. At Bayou Transformers, we understand the urgency and we are ready to assist. Whether it's maintenance, reconditioning, or even a full replacement, we'll get you
yards.
I want
Man, he could use a week off.
No kidding. And there's all kinds of decisions that coaches have to make this. In the 17th week, it's quite a few, and you got to. And some of these are in games that don't necessarily mean anything.
All right, so Alabama is kind of in just inside Michigan territory, so they kind of throw to the left side, but he holds it too long and sails it out of bounds. So completes it, but to his player about 5 yards out of bounds. So this is where he's at the pocket, just straight drop back. That's where he really can struggle at times. And well, he struggled here, and he had no chance in completing that. So the ball goes over on down, second foiled fourth down for the Alabama Crimson Tide. If you count those on the turnovers, that makes it 5 now for the day. Michigan takes over. Just 12 and a half minutes now to go in a game with this scoreless second half in Tampa.
Maybe they turned the ball over 5 times and it's still only down 6 points.
Well, it's a 16-point favorite. I mean,
we were going through that when we did the scoreboard. If they were to lose this game, Alabama would have lost as a 22-point favorite, 22.5-point favorite against Vanderbilt, a 14-point favorite against Oklahoma, and a 16.5-point favorite here, and an eyelash away from losing, or at least going to overtime, as a 22.5-point favorite against South Carolina. That may come up
against South Carolina.
It was 22. That may come up in the offseason. That was before we knew South Carolina was as good as they were.
That's kind of the middle of the season before they kind of had their second half surge. Yeah.
That may come up for Mr. DeVore in the offseason.
Oh, no, they won't. They also got hit with a 15-yard obstructing the sideline.
Yeah.
Penalty. That may come up as well.
How do you are you supposed to get a sideline warning? Had they already been warned?
Well, if you are on the field, no, a sideline warning is where your staff or somebody comes over, but they don't interfere.
The get back coach is.
But if you're on the field and a player runs into you, it's 15 yards.
Oh yeah. That's what happened. Okay, so I didn't see the play.
Well, I mean, that's what it's called.
Sure. You can't do that.
So it's whether it's a coach, a player, but somebody on your sideline comes on the field and interferes with play. I mean, the kid got sacked. I don't know how much it interfere, but I don't know.
21.5 against South Carolina, 22.5 against Vanderbilt. Get that those numbers right.
21.5 and 22. South Carolina was 21.5.
Mm-hmm. Won the game 27.
What would that line be today, Brian?
If Alabama and South Carolina played at a neutral site,
no. Where that was played? It was played at Bryant Denny. Yeah.
8, 9, something like that. Yeah. Under double digits. For
neutral. Those two teams are even. Right now,
I take South Carolina.
You would take them.
I don't think they'd be favored, but Alabama.
No, they wouldn't be favored, but they wouldn't be
2.
They would. Yes, it'd be less than a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you're looking at.
I like the quarterback better.
Oh well,
long as Milroe's not playing LSU, I like the other quarterback better.
You like Charlie? Give me anybody over the way Milroe's playing today.
No kidding.
Anybody?
He looks like he's playing in the mud. He is kind of playing in the mud.
Not anymore. That thing dried up pretty good. Yeah, I haven't seen one player slip since
no,
the
but
middle of the second quarter.
It's Michigan's team speed that makes him look like that. Defensive team speed. Offensively, they can't get out of their own way, but defensively, Michigan can run.
Down a lot of guys.
The ones they got out there can run that I've seen so far.
Maybe Alabama is not, I don't know. Maybe it's just another typical, and that's the thing. Alabama's just another team. They're just another team right now.
Guy.
They've got holes in their roster. They got some really good players, and they got some players that really ain't that good. Here's Michigan's probably their biggest running play of the day. Off tackle right side. His kid is running hard, man. It's usually for about 2 or 3 yards, but he busts one running through tackles for about 20 yards on the right side into Alabama territory. Ball inside the 45. Make him at the 40. It'll be first down for Michigan. Michigan just needs a field goal here. The place kicker is 3 for 3 for a 2-possession lead. 2-possession lead might do it in this one with 11.5 to go.
I think 2 possession would definitely do it. 40-yard line.
40-yard line. So after the Mill Road turnover on downs, here's a give to the right side and a tackle for a loss. This time for Bama, throws the Michigan guy for a loss. Louisville looks like they got a shanked punt. So that gets it. No, the punt got off clean. It's just a punt return for Louisville. Got it at their own 43 to the 50, the 40, inside the 35 to the 32. So Louisville tied 7-7. They already have a pick six for a short touchdown. Now they look for their first offensive score of the game. Tied 7-7, 3:17 mark in the first quarter. First and 10 at the Washington 32-yard line.
This game moving pretty quick over in Tampa, too. We're now inside of 11 minutes to go. Getting late early out there, Yogi.
Yes, indeed. We'll take you right up into LSU at Baylor and Houston Bowl. Here from a walk-ons. Remind everybody that our friends over at Total Maintenance, my buddy Lucas Ragusa, and the great staff, the offices over at Baton Rouge and New Orleans wants to wish you and yours a happy new year. Hope you had a happy holiday. Hey, the one-time heater or AC visit, normally just $79. Normally just $179 is just $79 right now. Total Maintenance in Baton Rouge, 480-1000, 480-1000, one of South Louisiana's oldest and largest AC heating companies since 1980. We are Total Maintenance. Live at Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. If you're struggling, folks, with the Christmas gift for the loved one in your life, how about a new bathroom? How about a brand new closet? That'd probably be pretty well received, I would think. I know in my house, the one we lived in previously, my wife hated the closets. So if I could have gotten David Duvall and his team to come into that house and redo things, I think she would have been very, very happy. Fortunately, I knew that we were going to move, so we just prioritized a closet in the move. If you don't want to move because you got a great interest rate and you're happy right where you are, you can still get that great custom closet. Every single thing specifically designed for you. David and his team can do it. They can handle your work in the bathroom as well. Get that free consultation with David and his team. Check out the website, onebathandclosets.com. Start right there. Get the consultation, see pictures of their great work, see their reviews from the satisfied customers, and get the show on the road. It's David Duvall and One Bath and Closets, onebathandclosets.com.
Cajun Soft Wash, Baton Rouge's largest soft wash company, offers top-tier exterior cleaning for homes and businesses. Certified, insured, and locally owned. They ensure safe and thorough cleanings every time. Learn more at CajunSoftWash.com. Please consider making a donation locally through St. Vincent de Paul that truly helps people in need. If you have a boat, car, motorcycle, RV, clothing, housewares, or furniture you no longer use, please consider donating it to St. Vincent de Paul. This donation could get you a tax deduction. Visit svdpbr.org.
Got chores that need some extra muscle, but a large piece of equipment is overkill? That's what John Deere compact utility tractors were made for. Powerful enough for the work you need to do. Compact enough for how you need to do it. Find the equipment that's right for you at Sunshine Quality Solutions. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Hey, I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Alpha Customs has ridiculous end-of-the-year specials underway. Now through December 31st, Alpha Customs comes in clutch with new rubber. They will mount and balance any full set of tires that you order through them for free. Repeating, get a free mount and balance with a purchase purchase of a set of any 4 tires. And for just $555, get the Alpha Customs new truck starter pack. That's a spray and bed liner and a full vehicle carbon window tint package for just $555. But hurry, these specials end December 31st. Be an Alpha with Alpha Customs, alphacustoms.net.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be complicated. I'm Antonio, cousin with Service First Real Estate. We're here to guide you every step of the way. Visit 225re.com. Service First Real Estate, the team that values relationships over transactions.
Christmas carols with Jake and James of Trash Rangers.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Call Trash Rangers.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Ott Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Today's show brought to you in part by the Thibodeau Store, your home improvement specialist. Look, turn the calendar to 2025. You've been putting off these projects. Make them now at the Thibodeau Store, the Pierre Part Store, and let their experts help you out to take you through step by step any of these home improvement projects that you can do yourself. Don't deal with a YouTube video. You can talk to people that can make sure you're not wasting time and wasting money. Power tools, hand tools, electrical supplies, plumbing supplies, paint, concrete, so many different ways that you can improve your property. Let them help you out at the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online, free delivery, ThibodeauStore.com.
All right, breaking the action. Alabama in a timeout. Michigan as a 4th and 1 at the Alabama 19, but up 16-10. The way this game is going, a scoreless second half at this point with 8 minutes to go in the game. Michigan kicker is 3 for 3. Sorry, Robot. This one, you got to kick it. Max, you even concede on this one.
Kick.
I mean, it's a first. Mark that down. It's a new year,
Not
Charlie.
That's right.
Max said kick it.
New Year's
Max
resolution. Max is kicking.
Max is kicking. Louisville takes the short field. Again, they return the punt to the 32. They cash it in. Some shoddy tackling by the Huskies for Washington. And the ACC is trying to get their first cover in 11 tries in this bowl season. They've got a 14-7 lead, catching 1.5 in the closing line in that one. Virginia down 10 at half in ACC action in college basketball, down 10 at half to NC State. They led by as many as 13 in the second half. They win it by about 4 or 6. So Virginia wins it. They cover -1.5. Early on, Wake Forest, 29-26 now. They were up 16. The Cuse has cut it down to 3. 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. The kick is up, and it is good by Michigan. So Michigan does tack on the 3. So now it's 19-10. Bama's now down 2 scores. That's going to be tough.
Kicking off in about 10 minutes here, South Carolina and Illinois. You have an opinion on this game?
2 minute.
I thought South Carolina was the. I like the way they're playing, but man, that line is high and it's just creeping up, and man, it's a high line. Illinois likes to kind of shorten the game. So
you say that, and that's what I thought too. Then I looked at how they finished out the season. They scored 38 points in each of their last 3 games, and because I saw how high the total was. Their totals were in the 60s and high 50s the last month of the season. They scored 38 points exactly in their last 3 games. Wins against Michigan State, Rutgers, and Northwestern. Not exactly a murderer's row, but not terrible teams either. So they're a little bit more out of the mud than Bielema's teams have been in the past.
Yeah. So, who you like?
I like Illinois. I think it's a few too many points. I love the way South Carolina was playing, and I'm big on Sellers. Okay,
He's playing.
I will have a Heisman future on him before we start next season. I think that highly of him, but I think there's a few too many points. I'll take Illinois. Small. I'm not in love with it.
I don't have to know what they have coming back, but when you get a guy coming back like that, who's on a roll like that, some other good players want to play with him. So it's whether it's for alignment, skill guys, weapons, Beamer got a little momentum over there, but his second half of the season, there ain't no way Alabama would be 3 touchdown favorite. They played today in Tuscaloosa. That thing would be closer to 7 or 8, not 21.5. Don't forget, over here at the Original Walk-Ons, it's time to reserve your crawfish boils now on site
30.
over here at Walk-Ons and also off site. We'll bring the whole staff, all the servers, everybody to you. Just give my buddy Dustin a call at 888-3566, 888-3566. So, again, 2 games going on, one more about to kick off here from Walk-Ons in LSU and Baylor, and about 30 minutes. We'll take you right into kickoff. Live at lunch, live at Walk-Ons, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com is the website. Property and casualty or group employee benefits, your one-stop shop for all things insurance is, of course, the Highland Insurance Group. If you're a business owner and you don't have a great relationship with your insurance broker, they're just the guy who came with the lowest premium number, that's one way to handle it, but it might not be the best way, especially when something happens, whether it's a hurricane or a car accident or a cyber breach or a lawsuit or an injury. When that happens, you're going to need your insurance to respond. And if you only have the insurance in place because it was the cheapest one, it may not. Jonathan Carver and his team can be a trusted advisor and a part of your team as a business to make sure that your business continues to run even if the event happens. Give them a call or check them out online, HighlandIG.com. They're right here in Baton Rouge, but they can help you out statewide. It's Jonathan Carver and his team at the Highland Insurance Group. They're online at HighlandIG.com.
This is Charles Hanniger for Supreme Rice. With the Christmas season upon us, reminded of how many different ways you can prepare Supreme Rice for your Christmas feast. Listen, in South Louisiana, I know we have some big family gatherings for Christmas. So you're going to want to stretch that food dollar, and Supreme Rice, you can do just that. It's easy to get at all your AG food stores, all your Rouses, your Costco's, and your Walmarts, including your Walmart neighborhood stores. So make it Supreme Rice and support our Louisiana farmers. This Christmas is Supreme Rice. For more information and great recipes, go to supremerice.com.
Majestic Metals is located in Sorrento with over 60 years experience in the pre-engineered metal building industry. Majestic Metals is the leading metal roofing manufacturer with high-quality products, superior customer service, and a fast turnaround. We offer both commercial and residential roofing, including a standing seam panel in a variety of colors with a 40-year paint warranty. A metal roof can add value to your home and is energy efficient. Call Majestic Metals at 225-675-3800 and talk to our knowledgeable sales staff for all your commercial and residential needs. Visit us on the web at majesticmetalsinc.com.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes, placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Away for a touchdown.
The Hooters College Football Bull Pick'em Challenge presented by Yingling is underway. Check the leaderboard each day to see how you're stacking up at 1045ESPN.com. If your picks qualified you for a shot at $1,000 cash and $200 from Hooters, check your inbox January 2nd for your invite to pick the playoff semifinal winners. Our grand prize winner will be notified on January 13th. It's the Hooters College Football Bull Pick'em Challenge presented by Yingling at 1045ESPN.com.
At Curbside, great burgers aren't just what we do, it's who we are. Catch the big game in our newly renovated backyard with over a dozen TVs. Enjoy ice-cold buckets of beer, craft frozens, and boozy milkshakes. Curbside has something for everyone. Visit Curbside today.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-.
Yeah, it's odd. Tom wins our last hard out. It's a 225 roughly.
I'll let you know right after this. Hold up.
Okay, just text it to me.
Live at lunch with Ott Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, a 51-yard field goal attempt for Alabama to try and bring it to within one score. They elect to go for the long field goal instead of a 4th and 10. Milroe on a crazy scramble on 3rd down. Had a guy kind of open, but was very ugly attempt to try and hit him. Sort of an improvisational play. Could have been intercepted or close to being intercepted. It's just an ugly, ugly day for the Alabama quarterback. But it falls incomplete. But the field goal, Little Nicky's away. One thing that Little Nicky's departure does, he's calling down those place kickers. This kid drills it from 51. He's not screaming at them when they miss like your boy from the Saints. But 51-yard field goal is good with plenty to spare. Maybe he should be kicking for the Atlanta Falcons right now. So
a little bit more range. Alabama just neither team really able to run the football at all. Both of them under 2.5 yards per carry.
It's a defensive game.
Yeah, total yards 219 Alabama, 188 for Michigan. One difference in the first downs. The difference in the game: Alabama's 3 turnovers to Michigan's 1 and 4. Really, actually 5 when you talk about the 2 with the downs. But Michigan's had the ball for 35 or 55 minutes so far. This is real simple.
35 to 55.
Yeah, this is real simple. If Michigan can. If you can string together 2 or 3 first downs here, you can essentially put the game away. I don't know if you're going to be able to do that.
Well, Alabama knows exactly what they're doing. I mean, they can still. I mean, this kid is running hard for Michigan. It's a physical play, man. This is Alabama and Michigan of the 70s.
Yes, if they threw the ball on first down here, they'd shock Alabama right out of their uniforms. But I don't know if the kid can complete it. I mean, he's not much of a passer.
You saw his pass already. Would you give Alabama? Would you risk giving Alabama a short field with this kid passing?
Well, I certainly wouldn't drop him back, but I would run a play action waggle and get him out on the perimeter and see if he gets a little short dump. And if not, if it ain't exactly there, son, you take it, you tuck it, and you get what you can.
I'm good with that because let me see the USC game. Remember, it was 27-24 game. Remember, USC they couldn't tackle at the end. That game, they rushed it 46 times. He threw it 12. He was 7 of 12 for the game. He was the only quarterback that took a snap that day for Michigan.
How the hell did they win that game?
USC couldn't tackle.
Yeah.
Remember all the misses? Remember the last run that set up the game winner?
Yeah, that was when we thought USC was good.
Well,
they ran it right up the middle.
It's funny. USC's defense was better this year. I mean, it had a low bar.
Sure.
I mean, but I mean, like they were somewhat average, huh?
You watch
close to average.
You watch. They were better defensively. You watched the bowl game against Arkansas.
No, they didn't play Arkansas. Arkansas played Texas Tech.
Who did play? Somebody late at night. I'm trying to remember. They came from three touchdowns down in the second half, in the fourth quarter. Who was it that they beat? So many bowl games. I'm losing track.
There you go. They played Texas A&M.
The A&M. The other.
Yeah, it was a great game. One of the best games.
Yeah,
we had. Yeah,
and Maeva turned the ball over 3 times. I think they're better with. I thought they were better with Moss at quarterback. I mean,
Moss really went through a rough spot where he was an interception machine. So that was that was the thing.
Maeva was in this game. He was
he was. But Moss had what was it? Boom.
I'd say probably had 7, 8, 9 interceptions before they yanked him.
Miller Moss.
Something.
He threw 3 against Washington. Was their last one at Washington,
and he threw 9 for the year.
Threw 9 for the year.
And he played 8 games.
Yeah. So
I thought he was better.
Maeva, they were just trying to. At his best, I think Moss is. Maeva's a little bit more of a running threat. But now, and then Maeva got hot at the end, though, against A&M. He was making every throw at the end.
In the fourth quarter.
Yeah. But no, he's uncomfortable. Moss is a better passer when everything is, he threw the ball well against LSU.
He really did. I mean, he looked
Yeah,
like a pro prospect, not somebody that was going to get benched later in the season. Third down long for Michigan.
10 and
inside
a
of
half
3.
yards an attempt was Moss's second to highest. His highest was Rutgers, 11 yards an attempt. That was the game before he got benched. So maybe they were just kind of, and they won that game. He's 20 of 28, 308, 2 TDs, no interceptions. But then the game again, he threw it 50 times against Washington, 50 times, and with 3 interceptions. So that was a game at Washington that they lost close.
Alabama gets a stop with 2.5 to go. They're going to call their first timeout here on 4th down and about
What are
8.
they waiting? What are they waiting to call timeout for?
They called it.
I mean, but what? Why third down?
Well, Michigan made a first down. This was the second series.
Okay, but this
series
is
of downs.
why burning their first one now. They
I
ran 4 or 5 plays already.
They've run 5 plays. Yeah, 6 actually.
So here's the thing: clock management. I'm going to save them for offense. I can speed up my offense. I can't speed up their offense.
Right. I can stop the clock too.
I can't speed up their offense. I can speed up mine. And that's sort of I saw last night. San Francisco did that. They had one timeout left. They had a long pass. They had long passes before half where they missed half. They had a long pass and they didn't call timeout.
Add it to your list for things to talk about with Coach DeBoer when you call Feinbaum.
Feinbaum's not real people, Charlie. It can't be. It can't be. Maxo, you got look at this. Fielded a punt at the 5-yard line.
Williams.
But that's Williams, and he's loose, and he's going to get it out to the 45-yard line. So, hey, you need a spark. Normally, no, don't field the punt at the 5-yard line. But here, you need a spark. Why not, huh?
That guy.
Yeah. You're good with another number 2 at LSU when he did it, huh?
Eddie Kennison?
Yeah.
Yeah. Went all the way back in, beveled back into
Wasn't
the end zone.
exactly a competitive game, though, against the Rice Owls.
No, it was against Mississippi State.
Against Mississippi State?
It's the only conference game they won that year. They were that was the 92 season. It was real early in the year.
Yeah.
Real early in the year.
Yeah, 102, 100.
I don't know what they gave him credit for, but he definitely beveled back into the end zone.
All right, so Alabama's got 2:18 and 2 timeouts to go, 19-13. They have it 1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line. Straight drop back, a little flanker screen to Williams. They're all over him. Only about a 3-yard gain to the 47. That'll be 2nd and 7. Not sure if they'll get a playoff before the 2-minute warning. So they will not. And so that will do it. 4th and 1 here for Louisville near midfield.
Oh, Washington got a good spot.
Looks like they got it, but the spot puts them behind the mark. So will that hold?
Boy, that's not where he landed.
Did you see that?
It looks very, very close. The official who marked it is on the backside of the player, so he doesn't really see the ball.
Man,
okay, so his helmet hits the marker, not really the ball. See, the ball was behind, but
going to be hard to overturn this.
Yeah, that's going to be hard. Like you said, Charlie, those spots.
fourth quarter. I mean, playing really, really fast and loose with the ball here. Man, you're right. That should have been intercepted.
Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, a Legacy Title for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company, servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, which you get every time you call 296-0060. Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title. 3rd and 10 from the 15. Melrose back to pass. Ball is hit and falls down to the ground. Incomplete. So Bama down to their last play here. 4th and 10 from the Michigan 15, down 6. More pressure.
Yeah. Well, you run here if you're Alabama.
Screen. They're coming with pressure.
Maybe a little slip screen to Williams.
Oh, Williams got too much attention. I'm going somebody else. He's
That's
got
it.
way too much attention.
We'll keep it right here from the 15-yard line.
3rd and 10. Milroe in the shotgun at the 15. Checks to the sideline.
I might call timeout. Get straight.
Michigan playing soft here. Looks like coverage 4 across at the 5 and a couple deep, and they will call timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. Come back with the end of the Alabama-Michigan game. Live at lunch, live at walk-ons, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Genesis of Baton Rouge, genesisofbatonrouge.com. They're the only fully exclusive Genesis dealer in the state of Louisiana, and they're right here in Baton Rouge. I told y'all earlier this week we were driving. My wife goes, "Oh, that's that car I really like. It's a Genesis." And she had no idea that I even do this. I was like, yeah, they're really nice. They're really, really nice. And you should know it too. You don't see a ton of Genesis on the road because it's fairly new to our city here. They've only been at that location for a year and a half. But go check it out. It's a luxury vehicle. It's a luxury experience to be a Genesis driver. That means 3 years of complimentary maintenance, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. It's a luxury experience at a reasonable price over at Genesis of Baton Rouge. Every single car that's on the lot at Genesis of Baton Rouge is online at genesisofbatonrouge.com. And all of them, every single model, from the entry level to the highest end, come with the same safety features. Safety is a priority for Genesis. Go check them out. Genesis of Baton Rouge. They're online at genesisofbatonrouge.com. That's Genesis of Baton Rouge.
It's the most wonderful time of the year for getting in on the hoops, football, and hockey action at DraftKings Sportsbook. In the season of giving, we're being gifted college football and basketball, pro football and basketball, and pro hockey too, almost 24/7. And here's a gift for all the new customers. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code Baton Rouge. That's code Baton Rouge for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Happy holidays from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537. 21 plus, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive reward. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Licensing partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles.
Do you feel like you get hurt at the most inconvenient times? Brock's After Hours Clinic has you covered for a break, sprain, or strain. Open 7 days a week. Nights and weekends, walk-ins welcome. Learn more, brortho.com.
Keep your business looking pristine year-round with Cajun Soft Wash. Their gentle, effective soft washing cleans every surface safely, maintaining your property's value and appeal. Trusted in Baton Rouge for over 10 years. Visit CajunSoftWash.com today.
Louisiana's big weather can mean big damage to your roof. Our team offers free inspections and guarantees your satisfaction. Call 756-8603 or visit riceandroofing.com.
Just to be on the safe side.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Hey, it's Jake and James here from Trash Rangers of Louisiana.
Wishing you and yours a Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Ott Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Last play for Alabama, 4th and 10. Pass goes into the turf. No, incomplete, and it is over in Tampa. Michigan, a 16.5-point underdog, wins outright, 19-13, with the late stand from their own 15. 4 incompletions for Jalen Milroe, Charlie.
There is no joy in Mudville. That's a shame.
Davis Warren, the running back, the senior running back out of Los Angeles, California, for the Michigan Wolverines. You remember, we got a couple of running backs from Los Angeles. Charbonnet started his career at Michigan from L.A. before he went back home to finish his career with UCLA. Having a nice rookie season for the Seattle Seahawks. But Davis Warren with 73 yards rushing today. That's it. That's all it took. 12. I'm sorry. Marshall. Marshall is the other guy who got it. 23 for 100 yards rushing. Jordan Marshall. The quarterback is from California. Marshall, the running back, with 100 yards. He ran tough. He's from Westchester, Ohio. 23 rushes for 100 yards. That was it. It was a very low-scoring game. Total went under after basically giving Michigan 16 points to start the ball game on only one first down.
Alabama loses 4 games in a season for the first time since Nick Saban's first year. When they really take a look at this season for Alabama, and I don't want to discount an Iron Bowl win because it's always big over there. This is going to come down to they beat Georgia. That's the one thing that they can say that, hey, we really accomplished here.
South Carolina, Georgia.
South Carolina, you were a 21.5-point favorite. I know what South Carolina looked like later in the year. They're just not going to give him very much. I'm talking about the Alabama people. They're not going to give him very much credit for that. You lost to Tennessee. You beat a beat-up Missouri team. Okay, you routed LSU. So you won in Tiger Stadium, and you beat Auburn. Like I said, the Iron Bowl always counts for something. But you lost as a 2-touchdown favorite at Oklahoma. You lost as a 22.5-point favorite at Vanderbilt. First time you've lost to them in 40 years. Now you lose to in the bowl game as a 16.5-point favorite today. It's going to be a rough offseason for him. Is all I can tell you. It was going to be a rough offseason anyway. This is one of those games, Jimmy. He would have gotten no credit for winning, but he's going to get peppered for losing.
Lose-only game.
That's a lose-only game.
It's a lose-only game. That's all he could get. And it has not been. I mean, when you don't make the playoff, is this a sign of what Ole Miss and South Carolina are going to have?
South Carolina's up early. It doesn't look like they've come out flat. They got a field goal on the opening drive. So at least early, it doesn't look like they've come out flat. But I don't know. Everybody's different.
Max?
Again.
Well, I'm just excited to see Moscona in a Darth Vader costume again. That'll be coming soon.
He wears the Darth Vader costume.
Oh, every time Bama loses.
Bama's
burning.
You talk about Bama's burning. When they started the game, I said it should be Bama's drowning in this game with all of the rain. And look, that set the whole tone for the game. It's not like Michigan went up and down the field all day. They got all those turnovers to open the game, but it's too big a hole for them to dig themselves out of.
The interesting part
was
that
looked terrible, dude. Let's face it.
He did.
You got your guy in Williams. How many guys of his caliber are playing in these bowl games?
The cat from Ohio State, and
Charlie.
Not very
They're
many.
in the playoff.
Oh, you just
mean
mean
these meaningless bowl games?
Oh, not many. Not many. Not many. It's great. What do you want me to say? He's great.
No, but I'm saying he had his weapons.
Right.
They played. We talked about it before. Like, I mean, it wasn't – if you go out there with LSU's roster against Kansas State in the Texas Bowl last time they played, you get what you get. I mean, that's no – I mean, LSU is not happy when they don't go to a 12-team playoff. Alabama certainly is not happy if they don't go to it. But damn it, for a team that with that expectation level to have that many guys participating in a bowl game and to lay that egg, that's bad, man. Michigan had nobody playing. They had nothing on offense. The poor guys trying to run through a brick wall every time. They weren't going to throw it. When's the last time they threw the ball, Michigan?
You've laid a nest full of eggs in this season if you're Kalen DeBoer. A nest full.
Yeah.
You're double-digit favorite 3 times. You lost. Not didn't cover, lost.
And this is a guy that was a pretty good young coach. But we said this before. God bless whoever follows Saban at Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, but to this degree, I'm a little surprised. You know, when they coming out of that Georgia game, like, oh, man.
I thought they were the best team in the country. I said, if you can beat that Georgia team.
I'll even say that I'm not sure Saban can coach the side, manage that style of game and win that game and be that ultra aggressive, you know, and win that that's not his kind of game. I was like, man, DeBoer, and then boom, the very next week, you go down to Nashville and couldn't even, when Vandy's running the ball, everybody in the stadium, everybody watching on TV knows they're running the ball, and you still couldn't stop Vandy? That was like, you're loading the box because they just run a clock?
Any undisciplined stuff from your upperclassmen? No, it's going to be a long offseason.
We are off tomorrow. We are back as Jolie Pearl downtown. The Jordan Kitchen's pushing all the right buttons. LSU Baylor, get ready to kick off. We're live at lunch, live for the original walk-on. Schedule your crawfish balls on site and off site right now. Call my buddy Dustin in the catering number. Live at lunch, live from walk-ons, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.